Shrek was waiting. The ship is heading to far, far away. That is the whole secret. Puss in Boots. The last wish ends with Puss, Kitty, and Perrito stealing a ship and sailing toward a destination the film barely needs to explain. The camera pulls back, the water opens, and carved into the mountain above the kingdom are the words every DreamWorks fan knows. Far, far away. The same kingdom, the same world, the same fairy tale mess that started with Shrek. And that is what makes the scene so smart. Shrek does not appear. Donkey does not yell from the dock. Fiona does not step into frame. DreamWorks does not need any of that. The sign is enough. Director Joel Crawford later explained that the tease was put there in a hopeful way. If audiences wanted more of the Shrek universe, the door was open. And years later, Shrek 5 became official. But the credits had already done the quieter thing. They pointed the compass back home before anyone knew if that door would actually open. A cat, a fox, and a dog sail toward the place where the whole franchise began. No dialogue, no big reveal. Just a sign on a cliff. Shrek was not in the scene. He did not need to be. Far, far away was waiting. Donkey had kids. Dragon disappeared for the entire movie. Donkey mentions that she had been acting moody lately, and then she is just gone. No explanation, no dragon, no answer. For most of Shrek 2, it plays like a throwaway relationship joke. Then the credits fix it. Dragon drops from the sky into the courtyard of Far, Far Away while Donkey is mid-song. And she is not alone. Behind her comes a whole group of Donkey-Dragon hybrid kids. Tiny wings, fire breath, donkey ears. Pure chaos. Donkey has no idea what to do. The entire film, Dragon was not missing because DreamWorks forgot about her. She was absent because the credits were saving the reveal. Donkey thought she was just moody. She was building a family. That is why the scene works so fast. It answers a question most viewers did not even realize they still had, then turns it into the most ridiculous parenthood reveal in the franchise. Donkey holds the kids. The courtyard turns into chaos, and the character who spent the whole movie talking finally has a problem he cannot talk his way out of. He needs a job. Shrek 2 was technically over. The credits had other plans. They finally returned. The Furious Five are missing for almost the entire movie. Poe explains it quickly. Tigress, Monkey, Crane, Viper, and Mantis are all away on separate missions. Then Kung Fu Panda 4 moves on, but fans did not move on. Because for a lot of people, the Furious Five are not background decoration. They are the emotional muscle of the franchise. They are the team that made the Jade Palace feel alive, so the whole film becomes a waiting game. Where are they? Then the credits start. Tenacious D's cover of Baby One More Time kicks in, and suddenly Jen is training as the new Dragon Warrior. Poe is there, and then the camera gives fans what the main story held back. The Furious Five return, not with speeches, not with a full side plot, just action. Each master gets a moment. Each one tests Jen. Each one reminds the audience why their absence felt so loud. It is fan service, but it is useful fan service. The credits do not pretend they were never missing. They turn their return into the final reward for staying. The movie made fans wait the entire time. Then, after the story ended, it finally opened the temple doors. He was an alien. Everyone thought Marmalade was finished. His golden limo gets pulled into orbit during the climax of The Bad Guys 2, swept up with the rest of the gold by the bad girl's space station magnet. It looks like a ridiculous accident. One more greedy villain caught by his own obsession. Then the credits check back in. The limo is floating above Earth. Marmalade is inside, panicking into the silence of space. For a second, it looks like the joke is just that he got stranded. Then his panic changes. The crying slows. The voice shifts. The fear turns into laughter, and the limo starts transforming. Panels fold out. Thrusters appear. The car becomes something else entirely. Not just a luxury vehicle, not just a villain toy, a ship. Marmalade settles into the command chair, looks toward the stars, and makes it clear he is going home. That one line changes the whole joke. The movie does not need to explain every detail. It simply takes the guinea pig everyone thought was just a manipulative genius and makes him feel like something that never really belonged on Earth in the first place. His escape was not just survival, it was a reveal. The bad guy was not only bad, he was from somewhere else. They got eaten. The cart stops. Chef turns toward Creek, and for 1 second, Trolls gets way darker than it has any right to be. Chef and Creek have just been launched out of Bergentown together in a flaming serving cart. They are the two characters the movie wants you to hate most. Chef weaponized the Bergens against the Trolls. Creek sold out his own people to save himself. Now they are alone in the woods, and Chef is hungry. Creek talks fast. He tries to survive one more betrayal. For a second, it looks like the final joke is simply that Chef is about to turn on him. Then the hill moves. It was never a hill. The same kind of creature that nearly swallowed Poppy earlier in the film opens its mouth, and suddenly Chef and Creek are not escaping anything. The cart rolls. The mouth opens. Both of them fall in together. The credits do not show a courtroom. They do not show a redemption arc. They do not even stop to explain what happens next. They just leave them swallowed. A bright, glittery musical about happiness ends its villains with one of the darkest little punchlines DreamWorks could possibly hide after the credits. The movie gave them a way out. The credits gave that way out teeth. He launched nukes. He pressed the wrong button. That is the whole joke, and somehow it is worse every time you think about it. In Monsters vs. Aliens, President Hathaway has a control panel with two identical red buttons. One makes coffee, the other launches the nuclear missiles. Same size, same color, same placement. His advisors know this is a terrible idea. Of course they do. The main film already warns you with the first button gag. Hathaway almost presses the wrong one during first contact with the alien probe, while everyone around him panics. He survives that moment. Then the credits bring the joke back. Hathaway is celebrating General Monger's promotion. He reaches for the coffee button. His advisors see it happening. They yell. They try to stop him. Too late. He presses the wrong one. The launch is confirmed. The missiles are in the air. And Hathaway, hiding in a bunker, turns the situation into one last stupid question about freezing his head for the future. The monsters spent the entire movie saving Earth from an alien invasion. Then the president celebrated by pressing the one button nobody should ever touch. Not because of evil, because he wanted coffee. He got erased again. Bernard had a terrible day. He was just a museum curator closing up for the night. Then Megamind dehydrated him, compressed him into a tiny cube, and used his face as a disguise for most of the movie. Bernard did not join a villain plan. He did not start a fight. He just happened to be standing in the wrong museum at the wrong time. The post-credits scene finds him in the washing machine. The hot cycle rehydrates him. He climbs out soaked, confused, glasses crooked, trying to understand how one normal work shift turned into the worst day of his life. And then Minion sees him. For 1 second, Bernard is free. He survived the dehydration gun. He survived being left as a cube. He survived the laundry. Then Minion pulls out the forget-me stick. One hit. Bernard drops. When he wakes up, he will not remember any of it. That is what makes the gag so perfectly cruel. DreamWorks brings this innocent man back just long enough to erase him again. No apology, no explanation. No one checking if he is okay. He made it through the entire movie. The credits gave him about 15 seconds of freedom, then took even that away. Bernard deserved better. He did not get it. Mort ate him. Mort looks harmless. That has always been the trick. He is tiny, wide-eyed, obsessed with King Julien's feet. In Madagascar, he is built like the safest creature in the room. Annoying, maybe. Weird, definitely, but dangerous? Not really. Then Penguins of Madagascar gives him a mid-credits scene. The penguins return to the circus and plug Mort into the cuteness ray to restore Private to normal. It works. Private is back, technically, even if the result comes with antlers. King Julien has been trying to press the button the whole time. Kowalski keeps stopping him, but Julien is Julien, so eventually he tricks his way into getting exactly what he wants. He presses it. The penguins leave. King Julien stands next to Mort, looking at the result, and decides it needs more pizzazz. Mort looks at him. Then Mort swallows him. One gulp. The entire king of the lemurs disappears inside a mouse lemur the size of a grapefruit, and somehow Julien is delighted. His voice comes from inside Mort, completely at peace, because that was apparently the pizzazz he was looking for. The movie ends with Private restored, the villain defeated, and King Julien happily living inside Mort. Nobody could have predicted that. Mort ate him. He loved it.